signs for your ride. SignBros is the place where we make your signs.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. We are the SignBros. Make sure to subscribe on the link below. Today I have Mr. Paul Schroder of El Paso Kung Fu with us.
Excellent. Right. Thanks for being here.
And
my pleasure,
musician, missionary.
Yeah, at one point in my life.
Songwriter.
Butt kicker.
All of the above, yeah.
Butt kicker.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Pleasure to be here.
We met you through, I guess there's some work that we did for your, what do you call it, what's the official word?
We like to call it, you call it an academy or a school. Either one of those are good. People say dojo, that's
Dojo,
fine.
yeah, okay, gotcha.
That's the traditional old school name.
I wanted to be cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool. That'll do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I talked to your wife when I was there and told me a little bit about your background, and then you came back in, so it was a perfect time to have you come talk about what you do, man.
Yeah, it was a really nice conversation we had when I came by to pick up some business cards.
So are you from El Paso?
Yes. Well, no. I've been here 20 years. That's why I said yes immediately.
Sure.
But originally I was born in New York, and then my mother ran away with a butcher, and we moved to California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, when I was
Cross country.
young. Cross country. Yeah, from one side to the other. Now I'm living right in the middle.
Yeah.
How did
El
you
Paso.
end up in El Paso?
A little Mexican girl.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it happens.
Does it all the time.
Marty Robbins, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Happens every time.
Yes, it does.
Stories all the time.
Yep,
man.
and I'm still with her. We've been together 24 years.
Nice.
Yeah, we got two kids, 20-year-old and a 13-year-old, both girls.
From the beach to the desert.
What's that?
From the beach to the
From
desert.
the beach to the desert, yes.
So where did you meet her then?
We met in college. I was 19, she was 23, so she robbed the cradle.
Yeah.
And she was from El Paso, yeah. And we kind of met and fell in love, and then I went to the mission field for a while.
Gotcha.
We were super involved in the church at that time, and then came back, and then we dated a bit, and then we got married, and then we both went back to the mission field.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What country?
To Hungary.
Hungry.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Carlos is always hungry.
that's right.
I'm Hungarian, I guess.
I guess so.
You know the language.
Yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
sure,
ask you.
right?
Yeah, I speak Hungarian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Do you still speak it fluently, or?
fluent enough to where I could have this conversation with you for the most part.
Wow.
It might sound like this if we, I would sound obviously accented and not perfect with my vocabulary, but I can get by.
Oh.
Have you bumped into anybody here in El Paso and just had like
Actually, interesting story. I got contacted by a lawyer who found out I was Hungarian, and I got hired to be a court translator in Alamogordo.
Wow.
For a court case, and that was the only time. But she was Hungarian native. She didn't speak English, so I had to translate for the court case, which was exciting.
Whoa.
Yeah, I bet.
But it was exhausting because you're dealing with people's emotions, you're dealing with money. And she was trying to get as much as she could from this guy, and and I had to sign her in under the penalty of perjury. And when I said my version of that, which wasn't probably under the penalty of perjury, she went She freaked out, started screaming, and that was the only time I got a chance to really use it. But there's also a physician here that's Hungarian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you, because the terminology in the legal system is, I would imagine having to translate something like that.
Did you have to tune up your...
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I had to, and then I had to kind of use words that weren't, the
you didn't get
exact
her. You didn't get her in
word.
more trouble, I hope. Right.
I don't know the way it happened. They were like, "Okay, thank you, sir," and then they deliberated. Yeah, you're done.
Wow.
So it was crazy.
And your background as far as what you're doing now with martial arts, how far back does that go?
Well, I started when I was about 11. I just always had a fascination with it. There was just something about it. It always blended a lot of things that I was interested in. Obviously self-defense, was important to me growing up, and but philosophy, mindfulness, improving yourself through a physical act, discipline.
Be water.
Yeah, things like that. I loved Bruce Lee.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. So, and then I started at about I think I started training at age 11, and then I've never stopped.
Wow.
And now
What is your background? What do you do? Kung Fu.
Yeah, so through the years I've added
what-
different things. I do a style called Kung Fu Sansu, which is kind of like street-oriented self-defense. It's the Chinese version of like Krav Maga, I guess you could say.
Wow.
So it's very oriented toward, punches, kicks, takedowns, sweeps, leverages. You know, it's not the Jackie Chan Kung Fu. It's a little bit more like, you know, combatives type of martial arts. So it's self-defense. It still has that stylization a little bit, but... And then I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I'm a black belt in BJJ. I've done that for the last 20 years or so.
Belts.
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
Oh, I didn't know they had levels like that. They do the same thing?
in BJJ they do in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's the style that got made famous by the UFC and Royce Gracie.
Oh,
yeah. So I got my brown belt through Helson Gracie, actually. That's the connection that we have is through Helson. And then I train here locally with a good friend of mine, Jesse Briggs, on the west side, and that's where I got my black belt.
Wow.
But yeah, I've done that, and then I've done Kali, which is the stick and the blade. So I've been doing that for a while. We teach that at the academy, and I've done just a bunch of other martial arts. Boxing I did for a while.
Nice.
So yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. You know,
Staying fit.
Staying fit, staying healthy. It's an activity that I like. You know, when you start it when you're young, or when you first start out, it's, I guess, you know, people think it's just about kicking ass or whatever, but it evolves. So for me now, it's taken on a whole life of its. I mean, it's great, you know, to be able to defend yourself, but you know, when people go, "Oh, don't kick my ass," I go, "Hey, I'm on your side." You know, I don't think that way anymore. I just enjoy the martial arts.
And you have like what, 300 and some students, you said?
Yeah, before COVID-19, I had about 350 students. So, yeah.
And that dipped down.
It dipped down a little bit. Let's just say it dipped down. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did stay with us for sure, but there was, you know, there's some people had to take breaks, and of course we understood. Some people couldn't come back in because of their health conditions, things like that. But we just opened 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, and so we're slowly trying to bring everything back.
But during that time, did you guys offer online classes or anything like that?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we immediately went to an online presence, and we did a Facebook page for them. We closed the day before we were mandated to close, and I did a video for the members and said, "Hey, we're going right to this group, guys." And we did daily Facebook Live, and then within time we started doing Zooms. So we still are doing that.
Nice.
So now that we're open, there are some that don't want to come in, so we're offering that for them at home, and then we're offering classes at the school.
Gotcha.
So we're kind of trying to do both.
You jumped right on it, man. Very good.
Tried, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, and I have a great staff, so it wasn't just, for sure wasn't me. We have a programs director. Of course, my wife works with us.
Sure.
And then Ceci, who's our office manager, and Vince, who's one of our staff instructors. So
very cool.
If it wasn't for them, there's no way we could have done that.
Is your wife also martial arts?
Yeah, she's a master in Kung Fu Sansu.
Wow.
Through me, and then she teaches the kids, mostly the kids program. And
Nice. Can she kick your ass?
depends on the subject. Depends on what we're talking about. But yes, most definitely she can.
Absolutely. That's a good answer.
That's right.
Safe answer.
Yeah, you know, in Hungary they used to say the man is the head, but the woman is the neck.
Holds you up. Are you part Hungarian?
No,
Oh.
not at all. I'm Irish.
Oh,
Yeah, mostly Irish. Irish and Dutch and a bunch of other stuff. I'm a mutt.
why Hungary?
I had a good friend in college that went there, and he would write me about the way it was and, you know, the country, and I just kind of felt a calling to go, you know.
Wow.
At that time, Eastern Europe had just succeeded from the communist regime. It was around 1992. The fall of the communist, you know, Eastern Bloc countries was in '89, and so they were just kind of open to some new ideas and new ways to approach spirituality and church and religion. And so, you know, we weren't the first ones to bring Christianity, but just that kind of that brand of the, I guess, church for everyone, or I don't know what you want to call it, but not so traditional. Right. And so some of the younger Hungarians really took to it.
And you were there for how long?
Close to 5 years total.
Oh, wow.
On and off. So there was kind of two separate trips that I took. One as a single guy, and one when I got married.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
So incredible experience. You wouldn't change that?
Oh my God, changed my life forever.
Nice.
Changed my worldview a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Really did. Really changed how I saw the world.
Very cool.
Yeah. Europe will do that to you. Well, any country really that you go to. You know, you go, wow.
For sure.
Yeah.
So right now you only have one location for your academy.
Correct. Yeah.
Is there any plans to expand or?
Yeah, as of right now, no. You know, we did expand to the west side.
Oh, okay.
And we have an academy. We started an academy over there with Matthew Cuellar, who's one of my students. And so he has a school there. But, we basically handed that over to him at a certain point. So we're affiliated, we're connected, but we don't own the school. He owns that school.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But still the same name?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's West El Paso Kung Fu.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. I have a question for you
Sure.
about the jiu-jitsu part.
Sure.
I hear that there's this big like jiu-jitsu cannabis thing that goes on. Is that like local, or is that just kind of what other people do? I mean, what I hear is that they just kind of these guys all these jiu-jitsu guys get together.
Yeah.
They
smoke it up.
Smoke it up, and they practice.
Yeah.
No fighting, just the practice part of it. That's what I
Yeah.
hear.
Well, jiu-jitsu, it's all ground submission wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's, you're not punching each other.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a different, thing.
More of like a mental kind of.
Mental, physical. It's like mental and physical chess all rolled together. That's jiu-jitsu. So yeah, there's a lot of people who smoke reefer and do jiu-jitsu, and do it like right before class. Of course, in my school, if somebody smokes and comes to class, all I care about is that they don't like reek of it.
Yeah.
But I don't care if they do. It's no
Gotcha.
big deal.
Gotcha.
But yeah, there are some camps that they love
like
it.
camps.
Yeah, like different groups
Gotcha.
that.
So you guys don't get together and smoke out and then practice. I mean,
Next question,
Okay.
please. No. Well, I mean, I'm from California, so yeah. Let's just say that I've done that in my life. But it's usually if I do jiu-jitsu, I've not done that. Maybe if I'm with some friends in California, I might.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a part of my academy.
Gotcha.
Meaning that my jiu-jitsu culture is we come and then they come and they do the martial art. And I think most academies are like that, but it's just known that there are certain
Gotcha.
camps and groups.
Yeah.
They do a little more of that.
Gotcha.
Maybe the younger groups, And actually, interestingly enough, there is a tournament that they hold, I think, once a year, and it's the Jiu-Jitsu Reefer Games.
What?
And everybody's just smoking, and then you win like a pound of weed, whoever wins it. Wins it. But it's really funny to watch these guys because, and I guess the appeal is that if you get a little high, then you're not as like, I gotta win. So they put like Bob Marley on, and you can kind of just relax and flow.
Like rolls.
Yeah, what you call
roll with each
flow roll.
other.
You're like, oh, good one.
Tickle each other.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but if you want, I guess. But yeah, so cannabis. Are you cannabis friendly, or are you just curious?
Just curious. This is something that I had heard, and just the reason why they had said it that they use it is because it like puts them into this. I guess when they're practicing, kind of lets them see in a different perspective.
Yeah, it does.
Like you feel something here, and you can kind of know where to do this with this arm, or however it works, or whatever.
Yeah.
But they said it kind of puts you into like a deeper way of practicing. I guess.
Yeah, I think it can for some.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think it can for some.
Or could you react like 2 seconds after you get punched?
That also could happen. You could get
late.
slightly stupid.
Let's go with that one.
Yeah.
Let's go with that one.
I like that one better. Yeah.
Easier.
Definitely.
So you're also a musician too. You were jamming before here. Where does music
Awesome
come into your
guitar
life?
player, yeah.
Well, I mean, playing guitar when I was in high school, was a way to get girls.
There you go.
Guitar and sing and like let your long hair hang down in your face and play it and look out from your.
Yeah, that surfer boy. look.
Yeah, in high school I did have that long hair and surfer boy look. I didn't know how to surf though, but
More of the musician, huh?
yeah, I like to play music and played in some bands, and of course I grew up in the church, so played contemporary music in the church for years and years.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very cool.
Cool, man.
We all grew up in the church, though.
Yeah. We're all PKs. We're
Nice.
PKs. Are you PK?
I'm not a PK, but I am a P. I was a pastor. I'm ordained in Calvary Chapel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I was, but yeah.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
Yeah.
PKs. Wow. Right.
Yeah. PKs.
So we got stories then. Everybody's got, we all got
yeah,
stories.
I got stories.
That'll be a whole other show.
Oh, yeah.
I won't name any names, but I got stories.
Blackmail. Oh, very cool, man.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to find out as far as your academy. Mm-hmm. Do you guys do a lot of tournaments and stuff like that too on a regular basis?
More the jiu-jitsu arm will go to tournaments.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There's a group there that goes there. One of our instructors, that teaches the competition arm of the program, Justin Gonzalez. He'll take some of the guys that want to compete, and they'll go out and do jiu-jitsu competitions. But Sansu is not a competition martial art. It's more of a it's not really a martial sport. It's a martial art in the sense that it's geared more toward self-defense versus sport. So that's kind of the difference. Yeah. So we don't compete with it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you don't host tournaments yourself either?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like in-house, sometimes we'll do in-house tournaments for jiu-jitsu for the kids, or we'll do open mats. But no, I don't host tournaments.
So you break the bricks and all that?
We don't do that.
But you could, right? You said that you
I think probably all of us could. It's kind of a gimmick.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's a gimmick.
I'm glad you admit that.
Let me expose that right now.
I didn't know I could,
Martial
but thank
arts
you.
secrets. It's a gimmick.
The wood's got to be a certain little.
Yeah. I mean, you're not doing that with like a piece of oak.
No.
You're not going to break this. You're going to break your hand.
Oh, yeah. They had a guy in LA one time when I used to live in LA. They was going to be on a show. They had him, demonstrating that stuff, and the news reporter went up and says, "So you're going to break this brick?" And he touched it, and it just fell apart. And the guy's like, "Oh wow, you must have special strength." And I'm like, busted.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a little gimmicky. That's my opinion anyway. Yeah. Sorry.
Is there anybody here in El Paso mixed martial arts style whose name we should look out for, like UFC stuff like that, or that you guys are connected with, or that you're connected with?
Well, as far as like professional, there's been a few that have gone professional.
Yeah.
From El Paso, I think Andy Villarreal is one that he's a pro.
Sean Jordan?
Yeah, I'm not sure who he is.
He's like a Riverside High School, went to LSU. Big boy, heavyweight.
Really?
Yeah, Sean Jordan, I believe his name is.
He's doing MMA?
Yeah.
He's here in El Paso?
He's from here in El Paso.
Oh, from here.
Riverside High School.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Big boy. Played LSU football, man.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, the MMA is like a, martial arts has always had its like it's the sport arm of its existence. There's been the normal everyday like martial arts for the everyday person, and then there's like the super uber athlete.
Yeah.
That wants to go out and like the gladiator. And so and I think that with MMA, what happened was. Which we have, have a lot of respect for those guys, and have had guys compete MMA from my school. And there's other schools in town that do more of that than we do.
Okay.
Where they take guys and do, get in the cage, fight in the cage.
Gotcha.
But I think a lot of people saw MMA, wanted to do MMA until they got punched in the head and couldn't remember their wife's name the next day, and they're like, I don't know if I want to get in a cage, in Speedos and beat the tar out of each other. We might want to rethink my approach to martial arts. So that I watched that evolution happen, where at first it was like everyone was like, unless you do MMA, it's crap.
Yeah.
To move more toward, well, maybe I should just learn how to not get my, keys stolen. I don't need to wear Speedos and be like a heavy. So, but I have great respect for both. I mean, and I have friends that have fought in the cage and competitors that have fought in the cage. Just tough dudes.
Oh yeah,
tough dudes for sure.
You never attempted that?
I never fought in the cage. I've done some competitions, but the cage was a little bit after my time. So I'm 47. By the time the cage was around, I ain't getting in the cage.
Gotcha.
But I've done kickboxing tournaments, and I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a few Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments, and gotten a lot of fights in high school.
Cool. And as far as your accomplishments, tournaments, I guess you would say your
Black
titles
belts,
or something like that?
Well, I've never
What do you
really
hold
gotten
right
like a title. I mean, by the time I started competing Jiu-Jitsu, I was only a white belt. So, I was just starting out.
But you're a black belt right now in which ones now?
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, okay, gotcha.
And Kung Fu Sansu, and then I'm an instructor in Kali.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Still impressed, man. Definitely.
Have you ever had to use the self-defense in the street?
Any good stories?
A bunch.
Any YouTube videos?
No, there's no video. There's no video.
Wow.
I mean, I went to a 15% white high school, and I only say that to say that there was a lot of tension in my high school. So, well, there was a lot of riots and a lot of a lot of fights.
And this was in New York.
This is in California.
California.
Paris High School.
In Paris?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Perris.
Yeah, I used to live in Ontario.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I know exactly where Paris is.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I always that same thing. Paris. P-E-R-R-I-S.
Yeah. It's Paris.
And everybody probably
Paris.
spells it when they say it right. Perris.
Yeah, they do.
Not
Yeah,
P-A-R.
it's not the infamous.
Yeah, well, it's like us. We're from Las Vegas. And people say, Las Vegas. New Mexico.
Mexico.
Oh, wow. And then they go, oh.
The real Las
Yeah,
Vegas.
there you go. There you go.
Oh, very cool. I remember when MMA first started, the mixed fight. And stuff, it was the whole hype was the whole different matching up the different styles or what you call it. And ninjutsu versus black belt, whatever, kickboxer, and this and that.
Right.
And it was interesting because I always started off that way.
Yeah.
But in the end, it always ended up being like a street fight. Just
Yeah.
But after a while, it seemed like now it's developed to where people are actually sticking to what they know. I mean, the whole fights end very well with it's not just a street fight on the floor. People just trying to survive.
Yeah.
So it's really good. But I know to me, the jiu-jitsu is.
Yeah.
The
Very
jiu-jitsu
impressive.
changed everything for
Very
everybody.
impressive. Yeah, that whole grappling thing.
The Gracies are the ones that kind of started that whole UFC MMA.
They started UFC. They started it in their gym back in California. And I even, when I was young, remember the Gracie Challenge, which was you could go to their school and I think at first it was like, I don't know if this is correct, but it was a certain amount of money, $5,000 or something. And if you challenged them and you won a fight, then you got $5,000.
Oh.
But they would videotape it.
And use it for promotion and stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, and whoever won kept the tape, basically.
Oh, wow.
That makes sense. I saw a video the day where some guy just walked in the street and challenged. I'm like, what is going on? I didn't realize
They
that
invited it. They said, you guys come on in, challenge us.
I saw one the other day too, and they were kind of narrating it, and the guy was like a 35-year-old, badass, I guess.
Yeah.
He went and he was fighting against a
16-year-old. That's what I saw.
Yeah.
And I think he was. I'm not sure if he was part of the academy or if he was a Gracie. It was like a nephew or whatever it was.
One of the family.
16-year-old kicked his butt.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's what it was. Okay.
And then they did it again. They wanted to make sure that this wasn't a fluke.
Right.
And then they told him after the fight that he was 16, and he's like, "What?
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Right. Yeah, and that's where the UFC was born. It was born out of that whole competition. And one of the Gracies said, okay, well, let's do this on a mass scale and make the reward $60,000. And
Oh, yeah.
UFC won. There it was.
I remember watching fights and it looked like an impossible situation. Next thing you know, the guy's tagging out,
Yeah.
tapping out. Like, what?
Yeah.
Didn't even see it. What happened?
Right.
Yeah, what did he do to him?"
Right. And that's the power of what jiu-jitsu was that in a very practical way it addressed the ground. And most martial arts really didn't do that. Mm-hmm. Well, some did, but not in that way. Wrestling, of course, wrestling addressed the ground. So if you were to go back and redo your high school years, gentlemen, the person you want to be most afraid of in high school is not the football player, it was the wrestler.
Yeah.
It was that little 130-pound dude that would just lift you up and boop, put you on your head.
The big
just
shoulders.
like that.
I remember the wrestlers always had these big shoulders.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So that came out. It came out that, all right, once we're on the ground, we're like, literally, it's like somebody took you and put you underwater. And so when we saw that in UFC 1 and 2, I was like, 21 years old. There was a group of us within our Kung Fu group who said, we need to learn that. That needs to be learned. And then there was a lot of upheaval, that our style would, people within the Sansu community didn't like that. And they're like, well, you're not true to the true.
Oh, those guys.
Kind of like
the purists.
Yeah, the purists. It happens in religion too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So, this is the only way, and you can't do it any other way. And we're like, no, bullcrap. We can also explore some other things that might work.
Yeah.
If there was a technique where I could just touch your shoulder and you pass out, why would you not want to learn that?
Yeah. It's not pure.
Well, that's not in the books. So what? It works. If I go, I didn't have to hit you. I didn't have to hurt you. Because if I get in a fight, that guy has a family. He's got kids.
Sure.
Maybe he's having a bad day and he misinterpreted something I said, and now he wants to fight me. So what's the point of knocking his block off and going to jail? Ruining his life.
Yeah.
Sure. Who knows
Ruining
what
your
could happen.
life, possibly.
Yeah. I could hit him and his head hits a planter and he dies.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm in jail for 7 years because what?
You weren't true to the book.
Yeah, exactly, because I had to punch him. So jiu-jitsu offered that, kind of way of understanding. And it's really hard, and that's what was challenging to me. It was really hard. And the other thing that I really enjoyed about it was right away, you learned in class and you immediately got to do it in a 100% contested environment. So now you're sparring with someone who's not going to let you do that to him, and you got to find a way to really
go around it
and blend with his energy. And it takes a long time.
I bet.
And for the first 6 to 8 months, you're just getting killed. So when I get new jiu-jitsu students, I go, look, you're going to be the nail for a long time before you're the hammer. And so some guys' egos can't handle that. You know, they come in and they're tough guys. Yeah, I got this. You know, they're buff, and I put them with the little nice, calm guy in the corner, and he just puts them into a pretzel and makes them tap out, and they get up, get mad, and never come back.
Yeah.
So, but then some go, I need to learn this.
How often does that happen? Is it pretty regular?
Not as much as it used to.
Okay.
I think when jiu-jitsu was new, it happened a lot.
Yeah, I would think so.
But now everybody knows. Coming into jiu-jitsu, they go, look, I know I'm going to get my ass kicked for 6 months. You know, they just know. So mostly it doesn't happen anymore. Once in a while it does, and then we say, hey, man, it's okay. Slow down, because your ego gets wrecked in jiu-jitsu. Still, even as a black belt, it's going to get wrecked every once in a while. And it's good for you, though. It's good. You go,
good.
Humble.
It humbles you. Yeah, you come in and
little humble pie is
yes.
good sometimes.
I remember one time I was a white belt, and this girl came in. She was like a 2-stripe blue belt. This little girl.
Whoa, stop! Don't say this. No, I'm just kidding. No, go ahead.
I thought nothing was off limits.
For you.
No.
Sake,
It's good.
It's a good story.
She choked my ass out.
Wow.
She armbar. Now, granted, I wasn't gonna pick her up and slam her, but still, it was so humbling that it allowed me to go.
Wow,
okay,
this is for real.
Yeah, I really need to understand this. So I mean, that's been a part of my journey, and I enjoy it equally like I enjoy the kung fu, for sure. But they both just have these different emphases, Emphases?
Yeah, I guess sure.
Yeah,
They both have a different emphasis.
And you probably mix the two styles together, right? Once you get on the
Yes.
floor, I'm sure you go into Brazilian mode or whatever.
Yes.
Brazilian mode.
Yeah, like I'll do a sweep, and then we'll knee ride and control, and maybe put an arm bar on. Every martial arts has strengths and weaknesses, and I think that the weakness of jiu-jitsu is that in a self-defense situation, if there's multiple attackers, it's not the best idea to just stay there and try to improve your position and get an arm bar while his friend kicks your face in.
Yeah.
So there's room for both disciplines. Right. Yeah.
So speaking of self-defense, is there a particular style that you recommend for, like, say, a woman or anybody that wants to learn self-defense that kind of covers stuff like that?
I like Sansu for that. That's why I teach it. And it has that, that idea of understanding the psychology of sudden violence, basic techniques that are going to work right away, how to hurt somebody really quick if you have to, if it's life or death, So I like that style the best for self-defense.
Okay, got it.
But, I mean, also the personality of the person and who they are and what they like blends into what martial art is more attractive to it.
Gotcha. So do you offer like self-defense classes, or basically it would be Sansu?
I do one-time women's self-defense classes, and I actually market the Sansu as self-defense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have that going on like every other month or so?
I would say every 3 months or so I'll do a women's self-defense seminar.
Yeah, so we can make sure we promote that for you. And stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Anything that you want promoted, we'll make sure we put on the screen.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What do you have going on right now as far as promotions, specials, or whatever you call it?
Everybody gets 2 weeks free.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks free.
How many classes is that? per
During
week?
the week.
You gotta be careful when you say that, bro, because you might have people showing up every day.
That's good. That's no problem.
Oh, okay.
That's what we want. Yeah, we want them to catch the bug, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they can come in and try the program out. We've got kids, we've got adults, we've got the jiu-jitsu, the sansu. So,
do you think that 2 weeks is where that gives them time to catch the bug?
I think so.
If they do the 2 weeks, kind of hooked.
I think so. Yeah, where it kind of becomes a part of their day, part of their life.
Because I would think most they go a couple times, and if it's not for them, that they'll stop.
They'll know. Yeah.
But after, I would say 2 weeks. I mean,
yeah, usually after a couple classes, they're like, "Oh, this is awesome."
this is it, or it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if they're coming to the class and they're stepping on the mat, there's a good chance they're gonna want to do it. You know,
Good.
because it takes a little bit of bravery to do that.
Me and Nate tried it a couple weeks, huh?
What, karate?
Or I think you were 1 week.
Yeah,
I was like
a lot of-
2.
Yeah.
I think I got
Karate.
what's the first belt? The
White belt,
Clear.
belt. I think I got
I
the
think
Clear.
I got the clear belt.
the anti-belt, right?
Yeah.
And then-
I got plenty of belts from my pops when I was a kid. That's for sure.
And you guys stopped or what? Apparently. You got the bug,
Yeah.
it's the wrong bug, like the stomach flu or something. You just stop. Wrong
I
bug.
let the kids go ahead of me.
Yeah,
That's funny.
something like that.
That's hilarious.
Very cool, man. So, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can you let us know where you're located?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm right
Social
behind
media?
Tinseltown on Rojas. So right behind, right on Rojas, right by that church that sells pumpkins for Halloween.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. I know exactly what you're talking
That's
about.
where I'm at.
Four-way stop.
Yeah, right up the hill on Rojas where it's a 25-mile-per-hour zone.
Yeah, I hate that spot.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But there's always police there, so
There's
gotta
always
respect
cops there.
Gotta respect it.
Is there? So you're Monday through Fridays, or you guys are Saturdays as well? Or?
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday.
Yeah, we have a limited schedule right now because of everything that's going on, but we're gonna kind of upgrade that next week, where we're gonna be open every day of the week, and then of course Saturday we have class going on.
Gotcha.
We've got a Kali class every Saturday now at 9, which is the stick and the blade, and then Kung Fu is at 10:30, and then we have a Jiu-Jitsu class at 12 noon, and that's the Saturday schedule.
Wow.
And
So-
the week is, how does the week work?
So the week,
Or is gonna work, I should.
Yeah. Right now we've got kids classes. We've got our 6 to 9-year-old class that starts at 5, and then the 10 to 14-year-old class that starts at 6 because we're sanitizing the gym in between. And then the adults start. I have one at 7 and one at 8 for the adult Kung Fu.
And it's about 45 minutes?
For
or
right
so?
now, yeah, it's 45 minutes. But next week we're going to go back to the normal, where the kids is 45 minutes and the adult is 1 hour class, where we're all going to be together.
Gotcha. And you said the adults is what, 17 and up?
Yeah, I usually sometimes it'll be like 14 and up, depending on the kid.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
depending on what he's comfortable with.
And I'm sure there's some 16, 17-year-olds that probably go to the lower one? Or not
I would say
necessarily?
the oldest in there is probably 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Social
Awesome,
media?
man.
Pardon?
They could follow you on social media?
Yes, El Paso Kung Fu on
Paso
Facebook or on Instagram. Where else are we? We're on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's where your channels are?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll put it all up, man.
Awesome.
We usually ask the business owner, hey, if someone walks in and mentions a podcast, can they receive, a discount or something?
Yes, absolutely.
But you just offered 2 free weeks, so that's good right
How
there.
about this? If they offer if they mention the podcast, 2 free weeks and a uniform.
Wow.
Oh. That's what kind of value is that?
Oh gosh, well that would be, I don't know, let me see, 115, something like that.
Wow. Cool. And he'll throw in a
Hear
song.
that?
He'll
I
throw in a
will. I'll
serenade.
play you a song in Hungarian.
Whoa. Wow.
I kind of want to hear a song in Hungarian now.
No, it's very good. Anything else you want to let us know about, man?
No, that's it. I mean, this is great what you guys are doing, and you guys are great at what you do.
Excellent.
We really
Appreciate
appreciate you
Thank
guys
you. Thank you.
supporting our business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. It's been a
Very
pleasure.
cool story, man.
Yes. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. We are the Sign Bros. Make sure to subscribe. Thank you, Mr. Schroder, for being on the show. And
Thank you.
we're signing off.
Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Sign Bros is the place where we make a sign.